Start with our new project, and now we're going to import those two Photoshop files that you had created. So the first thing we're going to do is basically be getting our background set up. So I'm going to go to my folder, and I'm going to choose this picture. Can I choose? Oh, and if you press the Control key or Alt, you can select multiple images at once. So I'm importing them, and then if I just drag it down to my timeline, it would work very similar to Premiere. Now notice that when we first bring them in, it's got a really long duration. All right, it does read on our timeline to time and frames. So I'm going to zoom out so I can find the end of this video clip, or this picture rather. And what I'd like you to do is, let's make this the duration of this like 5 seconds, or maybe a little shorter. I don't know if we can get to that. Put it in there. So let's see if I double click. Can I get? No, that takes me into the rig mode. I was hoping that I could get an exact timing on this. Let's see, what about under transform? I remember seeing a duration in here somewhere. Alright, we'll just estimate now, and maybe I'll get back to you on that as far as getting your exact duration there, right? But did everybody see how we can adjust the length of that picture clip? So I want you to get your first picture in there to like 5 seconds. Then you're just going to drag your second picture down to your timeline. Alright, and then kind of do the same thing. We can slide that over and then zoom out a little bit so that we have the second clip going to about the same distance there. Alright, and now so now we have that at about that. So now if we were to play this through, we have 5 seconds of the first picture and then 5 seconds of the second picture. Alright, so that'll be the first part of this demo. Alright, so to import, I'm going to say File, Import, and if you guys go to Shared, Multimedia, Animation, and then Character Animator, I have one called Bradley, one called Miss Sour. There's a couple different puppets in here that you can use. Alright, so we're going to bring those in. Hopefully it's importing. Alright, here we go. And then you're going to basically do the same thing. Take one puppet, drag it to your timeline, and kind of decide which one you want to have going with which background picture. Oh, my character animator just crashed. I have this puppet put in here, alright, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to... Did you make that character? Yep. I'm going to change my duration here. So I'm going to have my Bradley character is going to be lined up with the first scene. Alright, like that. And while we're at it, let's get him positioned here. So over on the right side, you have this transform tab. Alright, and we don't want him floating here really. So I'm going to change my X and Y positioning to get him to kind of be in a better position. So you have to kind of play around a little bit with the values. Maybe I type it in because my mouse is not working so great here. Little by little, I can nudge him over. So maybe something like that. Alright, so that would be my first character. Then I'm going to import my second one, which I'll go back, Shared, Multimedia, Animation, Character Animator, and we'll bring Miss Sour in for our second picture, or puppet. I'll drag her to the timeline, and I'm gonna try to keep my layers kind of together. So notice that that's I think going to be helpful when we go to do the lip syncing. So I just brought it over, all right, and then I'll scroll over and resize this. Alright, so now I have that resized to that. So now if I scrub through my timeline, I'm going to have Bradley visible for this point, and then Miss Sauer, which now actually I got to work on her and get her into position as well.
Yeah, weren't you making my character yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't do too much more, but... Now I can see her feet are flying around, so I'm going to rig her again as well.
Oh, did you just set rest post?
Well, the rest pose doesn't keep her feet floating. To pin her feet down, we want to go to the rig tab, and let's see if I have the right one here. If I go into body, find my pin, pin, and now record. And now her feet are not moving. Alright, so that'll be good for our practice. Alright, so at that point I'm going to do a save. Alright, so to bring in our audio, we do the same thing. We import it, then we're going to drag it to our timeline. So now this clip is going to be spoken by Bradley here. So, and it's important that you do have the audio lined up with it. And then all we have to do is select the puppet, which is Bradley in this case, and we're going to go to Timeline, Compute Lip Sync from Scene Audio. It'll take a couple seconds to calculate that. And now you should see that we have this audio underneath here. And if I play...
Hello, thank you to speak me.
And now that audio is synced to our puppet. So that's where we'll stop today. I'm going to save this. Actually, I guess it's... Alright, it's always saved. That's interesting. Character Animator saves for you.
Yeah, it saves automatically.
So now I'm going to export this video via Adobe Media Encoder. And we're going to just call this Demo 2. So you could have your own clips in there, or you can use the one that I had. And it will open it in Adobe Media Encoder, as mine is launching right now. Insert Jeopardy music here. Alright, so now it loads it up into here, and it gives us our file name. As we remember, all we have to do is press Start Queue. And it's going to process. Oh, it failed.